Hello, welcome to my introduction for Wholehearted Birth. Open your heart to motherhood by honoring your childhood heartbreak from alcoholism. I am Kelsey Budge, the movement doula, and I am so excited to have you here. The purpose of this introduction is to really get you to be familiar with how alcoholism may have affected how your childhood played out and how it is impacting your life in adulthood and how it can translate into your motherhood. And what I hope for you is that even if you do not become part of my course and our community, that you will take away golden nuggets so that you can move forward in your journey of healing. And so that alcoholistic, and my cats always join, just so you know, so that alcoholism doesn't have this hold on you. So we're going to go through different aspects of the course. And these are slides taken from the course just to give you a taste and to really highlight what I want the world to know, even if they do not purchase, right? Even if it's not within your budget right now or within your time frame, no worries. I want this to be readily accessible information. And of course, there are so many books out there, and I have a book list at the end of this. But truly, I want to share what I have learned with you. And then you can decide whether you want to really go into the action steps with me. And then you'll get a lot of personal attention through the community, through personal calls with me, and really personal healing work that I have done, that I'm displaying and putting out there for you. I'm really opening up my heart to anyone who chooses to go on this journey with me. And I hope that by doing so, that you will feel more comfortable and not so alone in your own journey. So let's go ahead and dive in here. There we go. Okay, so the power couple for transformation of mind and body, healing your story and movement. My healing has been something that I never imagined would happen. You know, my mom passed away from alcoholism a year and a half ago now. And up until she passed away, I really denied that alcoholism affected me. And until I went to Al-Anon, and then until I went beyond that and started reading and really diving into my inner work, I realized just how much growing up with an alcoholic mother affected me. It really blows my mind that I did not see it before. But regardless, I hope that you don't have to make the mistakes I did. And by healing your story, diving into the work, no matter how you do it, no matter what you start with, it is so powerful. And that movement just accelerates it, really getting into the body where stuck emotions and energy, trauma is held, can accelerate that healing process. And I kind of did it backwards. I started with movement and then I healed my story. Where in reality, if I had flipped it, my healing would have taken off a lot quicker. and I would have had my aha moments a lot sooner. So this is why I'm presenting to you, because I did it backwards. Yeah, so let's move on here. And truly, I just want you to be able to experience that everything life has to offer. Not being stuck in your childhood, in these patterns that you don't even realize that may be happening, just like I did. Okay, so my journey, my movement journey to be exact, consisted of all of these different things. I flip-flopped everywhere and I've stuck with some of them. Martial arts, I truly love boxing. Pilates was amazing in my pregnancy and my recovery postpartum. Myofascial release, I talk about this quite a bit in the course and have some videos on it. Reiki was really my start to energy. So I highly recommend that as well. And human movement is kind of where I'm at now. So this has been my movement journey. So I have this huge background of most things. And I bring this to the table during the course. And of course, I am an adult child of an alcoholic mother, a birth and postpartum doula, a prenatal and postpartum personal trainer, and a mom of two with vastly different experiences in my births and postpartums, which I'm glad that I have these two polar opposite experiences to share with you. Okay, so why am I making this course? There are many reasons, but really that birth, why I'm choosing birth is my passion. And it's also one of the three biggest events in your life. Your birth, your own birth, giving birth, and your death. Right? This is the beginning of life, kind of the middle of your life, and then your end of your life. And as women, we have the opportunity to transform from our birth. And I know that is not what is mainstream idea. It's not a mainstream idea at all. But this, my birth to my daughter in 2017, opened me up like I wouldn't imagine. And I've taken kind of little steps along the way since then. And then my son's birth, after my mom had passed, was really my opening to healing, to energy work. It just presented so many new opportunities for me, including making this course, which is so outside of my realm. It's not even funny. And you'll get to know me as we go along, and you'll see that it may be out of left field that I would have done something like this, but I felt like I was called to do it. All right. So let me move myself up here. Do you have a fear of childbirth? If so, you are not alone. You are so not alone. This was actually my beginning. I feared childbirth like no one's business. It just was perpetuated throughout my upbringing, and of course throughout pregnancy. Everyone's always like, well, you're not gonna be able to have a natural birth. Birth is horrible, blah, blah, blah. I decided to have the intention to tune them out, to just go in open-minded, see what happens. However, I did a lot of work in seeing what happens. And I was able to overcome it. Now, how I was able to overcome it, I had a community. I went to prenatal yoga. I surrounded myself with like-minded people. I did courses online. I was in Facebook groups, books, things that would fill my mind up with positive interpretations of birth. And I also knew my choices. I understood what the evidence-based practices were and really stood in that power in my medical care. Which leads me into the next point, is active participation in care. I asked my OB, and then with my second birth, I did a home birth. And so I asked my midwife, and that was just, we had a lot more time together, but we really developed a relationship, and I felt like I had an equal participation in my care. An inward focus. That's really being in your heart, being in the body, not so much in the head, just being in tune with how you're feeling and what your body and baby are telling you. Which leads me to next one, right? They all flow together, right? Just like the body, everything is connected. Connection with your body. You need to cultivate that connection with your body to really trust your body. And mantras. Mantras are great. Pain with purpose. That was mine for my first birth. Creating peace. There's just so many, right? You can look them up online. You can come up with plenty. A supportive birth team, of course. I had just my husband for my first birth. I had a doula and a friend, and another friend who was actually my midwife assistant. I really surrounded myself with a supportive birth team that second time around. And my first time, I had my OB. She actually delivered me, so it was great. Connection to your baby, talking to your baby. Reading Thomas Verney's The Secret Life of the Unborn Child, amazing book. It'll open your mind up to what your baby can actually perceive of the world through you. A sense of safety. You need to feel safe in your birthing situation, your birthing environment, and really working around what may make you feel unsafe and what truly brings you safety, and to be able to bring that into your birthing environment. Welcome the expansion of energy. Birth is all about expansion and contraction, and you have to ride the waves and do both. And expansion can be even more scary than contraction, because expansion is outside of our comfort zone, right? We like staying in our comfort zone, which is a little bit in a contracted state, to be honest. So being open to that expansion can be a little disorienting. Addressing fears in relation to motherhood, especially coming from an alcoholic family background, this can be a big one. I know it was for me, and I really, especially my second time around, had to dive deep into this, and it was scary and uncomfortable, but it's really necessary, is to go straight for the beast. Just diving right into what triggers you the most, what holds you back the most, what you fear the most. And again, during this course, we'll really go through all of these. I have a ton of meditations and visualizations to do. And trust in self. This is the ultimate one. You really have to trust in yourself that you can do this, that you can be the mother that you want to be. All right, so over here. General characteristic of ACAs. This is taken from the adultchildren.org website. If you haven't been there, definitely do. Please go. It's like Al-Anon, but specifically for adult children, which I found to be revolutionary, because I really felt like it spoke to me more than Al-Anon did. So these are just some of the general characteristics. Of course, during the course, I'll go through these a little bit more in depth, but I wanted to present them to you. So I'll give you a moment to Go ahead and go through those and just take a peek of what resonates with you and leave the rest. All right. So why does all of this matter? Why does being an adult child affect your birth and motherhood and really your whole life? Because your childhood may be running the show, and that you may not be fully present in your birth if you are not aware of how alcoholism has influenced you. Being fully present is what birth demands you to be. Being present allows you to open yourself up for that healing, to see beyond what this world that we're in right now, and to see what are all the possibilities. I would not be here teaching you and sharing with you if I didn't experience this during birth. Birth has rebirthed me. I am a different person. And it's because I was able to really be fully present. And maybe I didn't heal my whole story, but I started to address it, both births. And each time I dove a little bit deeper. And that is available to you too, if you really put in the work and have the intention and the desire to be present. Maybe you don't, and that's okay. Everything is okay. It's all part of your journey. And when you are ready, the doors will open for you. All right. So what is holding you captive? Wishing that your childhood and adulthood had gone differently. This is still one I struggle with. I'm still on this journey too. Right? I'm not perfect. By all means, I'm not perfect. Judging yourself and others constantly. Living out of alignment of your intuition. Repatterning your neural wiring and body memory. Because if you're captive, you're stuck in this neural wiring, it's really hard to change. Forgiving yourself for things you feel you were responsible for that were truly out of your control. Your qualifier's dominating presence in your life. You're addicted to your comfort zone. And you're scared to change your life. And an unwillingness to explore your potential in this moment. And I'm calling for you to be open to your potential, to really step into your power. So what are some adaptations for survival that you had as a child that you have brought into adulthood with you, whether you really realize it or not? Codependence. And this could be still with your parent, as it was for me, your qualifier, or it could have transformed into your partner, or it could be both. And how that may turn into codependence with your own child, as I've seen with a friend whose mother is an adult child. So she's second generation, and she's really seeing it. So it's been cool to be on that journey with her, for me being the adult child and then her being the once removed. A false identity of yourself. Who were you molded to be? Who did you have to be to survive? And how is that masked who you are truly meant to be? A heightened nervous system or hypervigilance. This is still one I battle with. I feel that sometimes I'm just like always cautious, aware, and especially with driving. And unfortunately, we got into an accident a couple weeks ago, so that does not help. But thankfully, I'd been working through this. So cars are a big trigger for me because I was always scared that my mom would either get in a car accident or when we were a kid, that we all would. And that would be my end. I mean, I really thought that I would probably die in a car accident with her. But I'm still here, thank goodness. So trying to retrain that nervous system to just tone it down. Distrust in others, in yourself. It's a big one, and it's hard to rewire that one. Distorted values and beliefs. Again, what you believe in yourself, what you believe about others, what you really value in your life may have, been lost in the shuffle there. Behavior that fostered a sense of attention and love from your parents or parent. This was another big one for me. Really just being that good girl, so that way I didn't cause any rifts. Mask of a healthy child outside of the home. No one knew that I was an adult child. Even some of her closest friends didn't know that she was an alcoholic. She was, very good at masking it. And as was I. I didn't talk about it. I was in that denial to others, right? I knew what was going on in the home, but I would not admit it to anyone in fear that something would happen to our family unit. Okay, so what do we do with all of this, right? We need to focus on your attention on what you do have and want for yourself. If you take away any little bit to help move yourself, propel yourself forward, is to not so much focus on what you lack. Is to focus on what your strengths and gifts are. And yes, we do have to work through what, is holding us back. We need to acknowledge it, but really giving our energy to what we do have and what we want, and especially for birth. I do this constantly throughout the course too. I'm always moving myself, and messing things up because I'm not the greatest at technology, which is why I'm surprised I'm doing this. But suppress superpowers. When your energy is directed in alignment of who you are, you will receive the gift of a wholehearted life. And by definition, wholehearted for me is an unwavering presence in all of who you are. So when that energy is not stuck and held in all of these old patterns, these old beliefs, and you can get through it and see who you truly are and what your heart really desires, you have the ability to be present in your life and not let your old story run your life. Okay, so stages of recovery. These are outlined in Tim Cermak's book, A Time to Heal. He says that there's the survivor stage, which is kind of like an outward focus, which is what I was stuck in for the longest time. Emergent awareness or re-identification. You start turning inwards, start saying like, hey, I don't like how life is going. This isn't working for me. And time to do that self-care aspect. Core issues, you're starting to work through that general characteristics list. Transformation or integration, you go from weaknesses to your strengths. And Genesis, you're open to spirituality. Now, I will say that some areas of my life, I'm in Genesis, and then so I don't think this is like a total fluid stage, right? I think you can kind of be all over the place in different aspects, and that's kind of how life is anyway. But just to present this to you and where you may be. All right, move myself again. I have a little dance in the course, but I'll save that for that. So in recovery, you are honoring your story and your family's. accepting responsibility for your life, identifying how parental alcoholism has influenced your trust in yourself, your values, beliefs, and your identity. You're starting to discover your inner parent, connecting to your body and starting to observe the mind, letting go of the mind a little bit, nurturing a relationship with nature, clear proponent here, I love nature, developing a growth mindset, sensing a new flow of energy in your life that allows you to be more present in the now, learning to organically express yourself, setting boundaries, and just truly opening up your heart. These 5 universal postpartum needs are from Kimberly Ann Johnson's book, The Fourth Trimester. Highly recommend. She identifies that extended rest, nourishing food, loving touch, presence of wise women, and spiritual companionship and contact with nature are 5 universal postpartum needs. Again, why am I sharing this with you? Because if you don't take the course, I want you to take this away for your postpartum time. These are essential. They are not frivolous. They are not, what's the word I'm thinking of? They are actually needs, and that you need to prioritize all of these. And we, of course, will go over more in depth how you can, but I will offer you some here. So this is me with my daughter. And I did not honor the postpartum period much my first time around. And I said, I'm not doing that second time around. And I learned. But really, your 2 main jobs, especially during the first, I'd say at least 2 weeks, you need to give yourself at least 2 weeks. Really 40 days and even beyond if you can, but please 2 weeks at least. Rest and connect. You need to heal your body. You just went through a huge life event, and your body has to recalibrate and, shuffle around nutrients to make milk if that's what you choose to do, and go from a hot state to a cold state and find the happy medium. And there's just so much going on that's not really taught in like a Western perspective, if that's where you're coming from. And it needs to be honored. So rest and connect, right? How you connect with your baby during the first few years of life, and really to 7, right? 0 to 7 is huge. How you connect with them will really set them up for how they can connect to others in their life, how they will parent, right? That's amazingly miraculous and such a great opportunity for us to set our children up with something different from what we had. But it really starts at birth, well, during pregnancy, but after birth, to just spend that time connecting with your baby. And a support system that you can have for yourself. I went through a program called 7 Sisters. You call on one of your friends, family, doesn't matter who, a neighbor, someone from a mom's group you may have, and you have 7 people that volunteer to be there for you once a week, right? So you have all 7 days covered. And if you don't need them, they don't have to come. Or just to call on them and say like, hey, this is how I'm feeling today. Can you just, listen to me for 5 minutes and then I'm good. It's a miraculous type of support system. And of course, you can hire a postpartum doula. And some of you, if you are in certain countries, you may be given a postpartum doula or someone to help take care of the baby. Postpartum doula is really there to help you, the mother, and as a family unit to become connected and just get the support as a unit that you need. Of course, calling on family, if they're really truly there with an open heart, open mind, will listen to you, not offer you unsolicited advice. A board certified lactation consultant. This really came into play when I was about 4 months postpartum. We got a thrush, and thank goodness I already knew who to turn to. So really developing these relationships during pregnancy. So that way, if something comes up, you can just go straight there without having to use your energy and mental capacity to find somebody. Of course, a therapist, a dentist that specializes in lip tongue. My son had cheek ties. Those are not as common as my dentist had no idea. But being able to get that done if you are having trouble in your breastfeeding relationship. Pediatrician, of course, that one's most common. And then some not as common things. If you need a dog walker, if you want your partner to be able to, give you time to shower, watch your baby instead of walking the dog, just simple things can really make a big difference. Grocery delivery pickup. This is so common these days. It's readily accessible, at least here in the US. Pay the few extra dollars or for pickup. Many places are now doing it for free. So just something to think about. And then what's needed for your business. If you have a business or work, just to be able to be set up so that you don't have to worry about work for a few weeks. And I want to present to you just a quick intention exercise. Pen to page journaling is the best way to do it. What is most important to you for your fourth trimester? And what will encourage energy and harmony for your family? We're all different. We all want different things. Not moving drives me nuts. And I had to come into postpartum with the intention that I am healing my body, I am letting it rest, and I am doing the best thing for it. Instead of trying to move around and think that I'm actually doing something positive for myself when really it was not positive. And truly, what is sustainable to you? What finances do you have that you can really pour into without getting the feeling of scarcity or fear around your finances? What is sustainable to you for restricting your movement, for work, all of these different things. You just really have to think of what is sustainable to you. And that's the plan you have to go with. All right. And last thing, I'm a huge advocate for mental health. Of course, growing up in an alcoholic home, we know how important mental health is. And I cannot stress this one enough because I had a friend who I was her doula for her birth, and she chose to leave the earth 10 weeks postpartum. So this one is heavy, heavy, heavy on my heart. And this is one of the reasons why I've created this course. I feel like my mom probably went through postpartum depression, which may have spiraled into the alcoholism. I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling that that played a part. And then once my friend took her life when I was 36 weeks along, I knew I had to do something. And she was the one who took me to Al-Anon for the first time. So she was huge in my recovery process, and I have to do this for her. I'm doing this course in part for her. So none of you, no other adult children, have to feel like that's the only option. Okay, I am asking you and pleading with you to lean on others and to call on your support system if you feel any signs of danger. If you feel yourself going down a rabbit hole, act. And if you can't do that, the best thing you can do during your pregnancy is to educate your partner and closest friends about postpartum depression, psychosis, and anxiety. Let them know that, hey, if you see something that is not me, that you can help me get help, even if I resist, right? Because you might not be in the mindset to get yourself help. But if others can see it, or if you can just express just a tad, which my friend wasn't able to, it caught us all off guard. If you can seek help or ask for it, just ask for what you need. And Postpartum Support International is a great resource. Okay. So just a tad on movement. Most of these will be videos that I do for you, but really just the basics here. It's calming for the nervous system. Movement is good. Movement can be very calming if you do the correct type of movement. It really quiets the mind when you're in the body. Delivers freshly oxygenated blood to the placenta, creates space for your baby to create that optimal fetal positioning, sustains that flow of energy, gets everything moving, and really gives you a feeling of sense of power and invites that present in your life. And here are a lot of the adult children books that I have read and recommend. And for birth as well. All right, so I will stop my share here. Oops. And thank you so much for tuning in and really hearing what I have to offer. I hope you took some golden nuggets away. And if I see you in my course, I cannot wait to get to know you. And if not, you can still reach out. Send an email, themovementdoula@gmail.com. I love responding and I really want to impact the birthing community, my adult children community. I want to have that voice between the two spheres and how we can start to change, how this intergenerational disease, trauma doesn't have to persist, that we really do have the power to stop it. And I hope that you join me in my journey and your journey. I'm so thankful for you for giving your precious time to listen to me here today. And I just wish the best for you. I will be thinking of you and sending great energy your way for your pregnancy and for your birth and postpartum. And again, you can always email, and if this course is something that you're truly interested in, you can set up that free discovery call on my website, themovementdoula.com. All right, I will leave you here. It is very late. I do these things at nighttime when my kids are asleep so I can have quiet, but of course the cats always chime in too. But anyway, again, thank you so much, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.